It is literally impossible to control the stories that other people make about you in their heads. It's impossible to control the version of you that people come up with in their heads. Think about the fact that there are as many versions of you that exist conceptually, like who you are, what you stand for, what type of person, etc., etc., etc. There's like the version of us that we see ourselves as, and maybe one could argue that the only person that really knows someone best is the person who it is. So I feel like that was a long-winded way to say, but like I myself am the one who spend the most time with self, and therefore I am the one who knows myself best. But every single person that you interact with, every single person out there that knows about you, they construct a perception of who they think you are. And there are as many different versions of you as there are people who know you. Okay, and this is why it can be so hard to be in our authentic, visible selves. And it can be so hard to let go of people pleasing tendencies because there's an innate part of us that wants other people's perceptions of us to match how we see ourselves. Let me tell you, I've learned this the hard way through a variety of different contexts. Family stuff to start with, friendships, etc. When you act in the world, my freaking foot is itchy. When you act in the world as your authentic self, you go around and you do in every moment what feels right to you, what feels best to you. And the way that other people perceive that is not something that you can manipulate or control. Actually, you can manipulate it by using those, I don't know, those books that are like how to get people to like you or like whatever, those like psychological manipulation tricks. But if you're, I have a mosquito bite on my foot. I'm so sorry. If you're like me and if you're on this channel, you probably don't resonate with that way of existing in the world, that way of like manipulating other people's perceptions. You're probably here watching this video on my channel and you're resonating with me or attracted to me or whatever because there's at least some part of you that resonates with the concept of being your fully authentic expressed self outwards, taking all the stuff that is inside you, that is within you, and then allowing it to be expressed outwards, allowing it to be seen outwards, like kind of letting go of the guards and letting go of the protection mechanisms and the masks and all of that, and just dropping those and just letting yourself be yourself in front of other people. Side effect to that, I made a whole podcast episode about this a few months ago, which was called like, not everyone is going to clap, but you must keep dancing. And I went into this whole topic in that podcast episode a while ago, and the concept being like, when you act and express as your authentic self, that doesn't mean that other people are going to like it. Okay? And oftentimes you might experience more polarization from others. You might experience an uptick in the amount of people that have negative perceptions of you, negative connotations of you, or are telling negative stories about you, or like misunderstanding you, misinterpreting you, misrepresenting you. And that is because the way that we perceive others, it's through the lens that we have access to, and that lens that we have access to, that we perceive the world in, it's like related to belief systems. By the way, we go into how belief systems, like actually how belief systems create your reality in like a very practical step-by-step way. I go into that in my upcoming program, Liberated, which starts next week. I'll talk about it more at the end, but just wanted to drop that in there. But the belief systems that we hold are basically like the filter that filters, oh my god, my posture, you can like really see it in the mirror. The belief systems that we hold, they're basically like the filter or the lens that we interpret our reality through. And so when you're interacting with someone else, okay, they're going to act in the ways that they're going to act, and how we interpret that, like they're going to, I don't know, like Oh my gosh, it's hard to like come up with an example in the moment because it feels like so much pressure because I know I'm not editing this video and I'm just going one take through. But hold on, you know what? It's okay to be silent a little bit. Let me just think of an example. Okay, let's say your partner. If you have a belief system for whatever reason, from past trauma, whatever, that your partner thinks you're annoying. You know, maybe you had an ex-partner or something that actually did think you were annoying and they treated you as such, and so you learned that in romantic partnership, your body kind of learned that you come off as annoying. And so you might have a new partner and they don't find you annoying, but because of those past experiences and this like built up belief system within you about how you see yourself as annoying, and if it's not like if you haven't identified that and haven't like updated that manually within your system, your current partner might think you're like the best person ever, but somewhere in your conscious or subconscious mind you think that they don't like you or they think you're annoying. And so a neutral thing that they do, like for example, this happened the other day. But Garrett was downstairs and he was like drinking his coffee. He spent like an hour or something in the kitchen. And then I was like upstairs and I woke up later than him. And I was like, I don't know, freaking around, like doing random stuff. And then I finally go downstairs, and usually Garrett and I hang out with each other in the morning. But he had already spent so much time by himself, like in his coffee mode, and he was ready to work. And as soon as I came down, it like occurred to him that he's like spent a lot of time in the kitchen, not he needs to start working. And like me coming down basically like woke him up from whatever he was doing and was like, oh, I should go work. And so he left, and I was like, what the heck, like I just got here and you just left, you know. And I don't have those belief systems. Like I don't think he thinks I'm annoying, but imagine if I did think he thought I was annoying and have that neutral thing. Like he's going through his own thing, he's like, oh shit, I've like spent so much time, and just me coming downstairs like broke him out of the disassociation. Maybe he was like watching a video or something and he like came back into his present moment and was like, oh, I need to go work. But if I thought he thought that I was annoying, I might perceive that as, oh my gosh, see, I knew he thought I was annoying, because like as soon as I came downstairs he went upstairs. So he is having his own experience, but the way that I'm interpreting it is biased. There's a lens that if I thought he was annoying, if I thought that he thought that I was annoying, I'm interpreting that whole situation from that filter. And so going back to our original point, I need to like figure out a better way to sit in these videos. I'm sorry for fidgeting so much. But going back to our original point, like every single person that you interact with, they are perceiving you through their filters, through their beliefs, you know. And it could be even beliefs about, you know, just people in general. It could be beliefs, conscious or subconscious, about people that look like you, that speak like you. You know, this is where like prejudices and things can come in. But it's something that we can't control, you know, and we also do it to others. We also interpret other people through our stories. And so, like, we can do our best to communicate with each other and to try to express the most like true version of ourselves, and we can try to, you know, shift the narrative in other people's heads and stuff. But at the end of the day, there's nothing that you can do really, you know. It's still up to the other person, and there's nothing that you can truly do about how people see you or the stories that they tell about you. Actually, one of the reasons why I even started this YouTube channel, or no, it wasn't the reason why I started this YouTube channel in 2017, but when I was going through the disownment journey with my family, like I just knew that there was a lot of gossip about me, not within my like immediate family, but like extended family and like, you know, just larger extended like local Pakistani community. And I could feel it in the air, you know, like I could feel that people were talking about me. And one of the motivations to continue sharing my story online was to give the actual, like, it was almost like I wanted to kind of be like, no, this is what's actually going on. Because I don't know the stories out there all about, I don't know what all of the stories out there are about me. And people can literally be saying whatever they want. And the reason I know that is because when I was younger, I would hear stories about all these like bad women who like ran away with white boys and stuff like that. And they were just like horrible stories. And so I was like, I know the type of stories that they're probably telling. And I just wanted to be visible so that I could just be, I don't know, like people could make more of their own minds up about me. And so many years fast forward to now, I had to kind of detach from that energy of creating, you know, just because that energy is very, very much like I'm creating these videos to prove myself, you know, to tell people that they're wrong, to show people that I'm not bad, that I'm good. And it, first of all, it doesn't work. And second of all, it's very draining to express yourself from that place or to do things from this proving energy. And it's just going to drain you. And what the hard thing that I've had to learn, especially the more and more visible that I get, you know, I spent the past few years in hermit mode. Garrett and I moved out of the city, and we were just like in this little like bubble of hermitude. And I didn't really like meet anyone in the local community. I didn't really hang out with anyone or talk to anyone or whatever. Like I just didn't make any connections. I was just by myself. And one of the things that I've been learning this year in the past like year or two, as I started coming out into the local community and meeting people and like just expressing as myself, which by the way, I'm someone who doesn't really know or understand social rules or like social expectations very well, because first of all, I just grew up in a completely different culture. And so the cultural rules that I grew up in are not the same cultural rules necessarily of this like town that I live in, which is in Canada. And it's like a white people town. There's like social rules and stuff that I genuinely don't know. And I have a hard time personally with a lot of like unspoken expectations. Like sometimes people just assume that you'll know what the unspoken rules are for certain things, about certain things. And I find myself continuously breaking that, because what I'm devoted to more over following these social rules, even if I did know them, sometimes I like will intentionally break them because I'm like, that's a dumb rule. I'm not getting limited by that. You know, I've like liberated myself through so much of social conditioning. Like I'm not gonna do that. So what ends up happening is then I am out in the world, in person, and even online. I'm just expressing as myself, and I'm expressing super authentically and openly. And I'm also expressing and allowing my emotions to be shown. Like I don't try to hide myself behind like scripts or anything. It's like if I'm upset at you, you will know that I'm upset at you. And I no longer try to fit myself in that like soft good girl persona. Like I am, if you feel my energy, it's like I can come across very like soft, and you know, I'm just very open-hearted, and I'm very like laid back as well. But I have in recent years learned how to like let my fangs come out if needed. And I'm really proud about that, because although in the moment like of conflict and stuff, it can feel more intense to express authentic emotions and stuff. At the same time, what those authentic emotions, like for example, if you have like a disagreement with a friend, like to allow yourself to like express, obviously you're not going to don't harm them, you know, like control your fire, but don't like be mean to them, but to express like I'm pissed right now, like, and to say that and not hide it. It's basically allowing yourself to be embodied in truth, because if you're upset about something, if you're sad about something, or if you're angry about something, sure, we've been taught to kind of like not express that and kind of hide that because it makes other people uncomfortable. But the thing is that when you do let yourself embody that and express as that in the moments of conflict, it can feel intense and it does make people uncomfortable, but at the same time, the truth is out there. You know, there's nothing hidden under, there's no passive aggressive tension. There's no unseen tension. It's like all out there. Like and in the long run, it's like the relationships that do withstand that type of fire. First of all, not everyone wants to operate in the world this way, and I acknowledge that. Like, a lot of people don't have the capacity to deal with the intensity sometimes of emotions, and I get it. I get it. But at the same time, like, those are not the people that are in long-term like friendships or relationships with me, because it just, this way of operating and just being yourself and just like letting yourself express as you naturally are, obviously not harming people. Again, I'm not talking about harming people. I'm just talking about, if you're sad, let yourself cry. If it's like you're having a conversation or conflict with someone and you're feeling really sad about it, don't hold back your tears. Let them see how much that this issue is affecting you. There's no shame in being sad or crying or expressing emotion. Same with if you're angry, like, obviously don't like verbally abuse other people, but like allow yourself to express the anger and the rage that you're feeling, because anger is essentially like, you feel that when you feel like a boundary has been crossed or you feel disrespected. Like, there's, anger is sacred, what's it called, it's like righteous rage, or like there is a purpose to anger. There is a reason why you feel angry, why other people feel angry. And when you allow that to be seen, I keep saying this, but I just feel like I keep having to say this, but it's like, I'm not advocating for violence. I'm not advocating for verbal violence. I'm not advocating for physical violence. I just mean, like, you can express anger without directing it at other people. Okay? And when you allow yourself to just like really express your emotions in communication with other people, the truth is out there. There's nothing left unsaid or unspoken. And then from there, the other person can also, then you give them permission to express fully too, and then everything is just out there in the open. And once all the information is out there in the open, that's when you can really resolve conflict, because no one's keeping anything hidden. That's, no one's like holding anything back. It's not like, you know, it's like you could really like work with the material that is now in front of you, and you can see if there's a way to resolve. It's like you have all the puzzle pieces to do the puzzle now. And I find that with a lot of relationships that I come across, or people who aren't used to being fully themselves, or they're like hiding behind a persona or a mask or a certain type of languaging or like certain types of scripts, or how they feel like they're supposed to be, which, by the way, like, I'm not blaming people who are masking, because masking is obviously a trauma response. But when that is the case, it can be really hard to have like really open, fluid, flowy, non-tension filled relationships and friendships. Because what happens when you allow everything, like all the puzzle pieces out there, you guys can work on it together. And you can also in that moment decide, is it worth working on this together? Like, do you even care that much? Like, do you even care? Like, do you actually want to spend the time and stuff to put this puzzle back together with this person? Or do you not actually care that much about the relationship, and you're free to, you're just like, okay, this is a good point for us to part ways? Because that's okay too, right? And oftentimes, like, so many people continue on friendships or relationships, partnerships, etc., way far past that relationship's expiry date. And that then is just like a snowball effect of resentment and bitterness and unspoken things. And, you know, I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I have no relationships in my life that are like that, because when I had the whole thing happen with my family, it's like I learned these lessons very early, and I like fucking cleared the slate. And then I never really I'll give people a lot of chances and stuff, but I'm very quick to end things if it's not feeling right, or if I feel like people can't meet me at this level of authenticity. Yeah, so that's that. That's today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I was mentioning the Liberated program. So the Telegram group, what is today? Friday. The Telegram group opens in 2 days on Sunday. And then the doors will officially close on the 16th, which is the Tuesday. So you cannot enroll past that. So if you want to like get all of the value, come before Sunday, because that's when the Telegram opens. And then our first call will be on Wednesday. And this whole program, like, I was talking about belief systems earlier, but in week 1 we go even deeper into how beliefs create your reality and how beliefs like shape your life experience. But in general, like, this program is for women who want to live authentic lives, you know, and that authentic dream golden age timeline life, it requires you to have the skill to do things that to choose, to take actions that choose yourself, you know, or like to do things that you know you are meant to do, that you want to do, regardless of how other people see you, whatever. And a lot of the work that we're going to be doing in this program is dissolving the fears that we have and the like needs that we have for other people to validate us, for other people to approve of us, for other people to like co-sign on our decision making. Like, this program is to help you learn how to be so in full self-trust with yourself and to make all of the decisions in your life from that place, knowing that you got you and that you don't need to depend on anyone else outside of you emotionally and otherwise to live, you know. That, like, the reason it's called liberated is because we're liberating ourselves from social conditioning, rules, other people's perceptions of us, other people's like stories and ideas of us. Like, we're like shedding all of the care that we have about those things, shedding all of the chain, or breaking all of those chains that are keeping us from actually living our lives and taking the actions and doing the things that we know we need to do to make our lives better, to dissolve toxicity, to, yeah, just, it's like, it's like this course, this program slash course is going to teach you how to build the skill of choosing yourself, despite what the world or anyone outside of you has to say about it. And that is true freedom, because, and that is true liberation, because at that point, when you have developed this skill and you know how to hold yourself through these types of experiences and action taking, you basically feel like you can live your life in any way that you want to live. You're not burdened by other people's opinions. You just get to do what you want. You get to make the choices that you want. You get to feel respected by others for the choices that you're making. You get to inspire others by the choices you're making. You get to like break old paradigms in people's minds about what this life can be and what this life can look like and what we're able to achieve and experience in this life. So anyway, if all of that sounds good to you, the link is in the description as well as the comments. Yeah. Bye.